This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to speak about the insurance adjuster and explain what an adjuster is and why the adjuster is the face of the insurance company at the time of a loss. The insurance adjuster is seldom, if ever, mentioned in a policy of insurance. The strict wording of the first-party property policy sets the obligation to investigate and prove a claim on the insured. Standard first-party property insurance policies based upon the more than a century-old New York Standard Fire Insurance policy contain conditions that require the insured to, within 60 days of a loss, submit a sworn proof of loss to prove to the insurer the facts and amount of loss. In general, failure to file the proof within the time limited by the policy is fatal to an action upon it. Consider White v. Home Mutual, a California Supreme Court decision of 1900, and Beasley v. Pacific, a 1962 Supreme Court Court of Appeal decision. Technically, if the wording of the policy was followed literally, the insurer could sit back, do nothing, and wait for the proof. And if it wasn't submitted within 60 days, simply deny the claim. If the insured submits a timely proof of loss, the insurer could either accept or reject the proof of loss. If the insurer rejected the proof of loss, the insurer could either send a new one or give up and gain nothing from the claim. Filing suit on the policy would be difficult because the policy contract limited the right to sue at times after the proof of loss condition has been fulfilled. Insureds and insurers were not happy with the system. It made it too difficult for a lay person to successfully present a claim. The system as written into the standard fire policy seemed to run counter to the covenant of good faith and fair dealing that had been the basis of the insurance contract since at least 1766. Most insurers recognized that their insureds were mostly incapable of complying with the strict mandate of the policy requiring a sworn proof of loss within 60 days. Enforcement of the policy conditions made for unhappy insureds, and the reputation of the insurer suffered. In order to fulfill the covenant of good faith and fair dealing, insurers created the insurance adjuster to fulfill its obligations to deal fairly and in good faith with the insured. The adjuster was created to assist the insured to comply with the material conditions of the policy, to thoroughly investigate the policy and the claim, to protect the interest of the insurer and protect against claims that were not due to a peril insured against or were false and fraudulent. An adjuster is, by definition, a person, co-partnership, or corporation who undertakes to ascertain and report the actual loss to the subject matter of insurance due to the hazard insured against. This was stated in California Insurance Code Section 14021. A first-party property adjuster is a specialist in adjusting claims brought by a person or entity against certain identified perils or risks of loss. The first party is the insured, the second party is the insurer, and the adjuster acts on behalf of the insurer. Insurance companies create, by issuing an insurance policy, a contractual obligation to pay valid claims from those people insured. To do so, insurers understand that the person insured is not able to prove the cause and extent of loss without assistance. Therefore, insurers dispatch a person with special knowledge, the first-party property adjuster, to separate fact from fiction, to establish cause and origin of the claimed loss, and determine sufficient information to enable the insurance company to determine the amounts necessary to indemnify the insured as the policy promised. The adjuster is also present to distinguish the valid claim from a claim for which the insurance company is not liable under the policy, whether due to the terms and conditions of the policy or because of an attempted fraud. Most insurance policies issued by commercial, non-government supported insurers accept substantial compliance with the policy conditions and require their adjusters to assist insureds to fulfill those conditions. As a general rule, therefore, quote, when the insurer gives its insured written notice of its desire that a proof of loss under a policy of fire insurance be furnished and provides a suitable form for such proof, failure of the insured to file proof of loss within 60 days after receipt of such notice or within any longer period specified in the notice is an absolute defense to an action on the policy. Close quote. Stopani versus Allegheny Co-op Insurance Company, a 2011 decision of the New York Appellate Division. Since the invention of the adjuster more than a century ago, the first person from the insurer that the insured meets when he or she suffers a first-party property loss is the adjuster. The claim adjuster was invented to smooth the claims process and be certain that the insured receives the indemnity promised and performs a complete and thorough investigation to avoid fraudulent claims. How well the adjuster does his or her job will increase the reputation of the insurer and will not only keep the insured as a customer, he or she will add additional customers by word of mouth. Although most adjusters are not trained to be marketers, their professionalism will act as the most effective marketing an insurer can receive, better than any television ad of an emu or some other strange kind of advertising that has nothing to do with what the policy does. Every modern claim adjuster should know that it is his or her duty to aid the insurer in its obligation to fulfill the promises made by the policy of insurance and assist the insured in presenting his or her claim to the insurer in accordance with the promises made by the insured to fulfill the conditions of the policy. An adjuster's duties to the insured do not arise from the insurance contract. The adjuster is not a party to the contract. He or she is an employee or agent of the insurer. Every person in the business of insurance or who are insured by a policy of first-party property insurance must understand that an insurance adjuster is a person engaged in the business of insurance to investigate and resolve insurance claims. The first-party property insurance adjuster limits his or her activities to the investigation and adjustment of first-party property claims like fire, lightning, windstorm, hail, theft, etc. The acts of an adjuster within the apparent scope of his or her authority are binding on the company without notice to the insured of limitations on his powers. The duty of the adjuster is to ascertain and determine the amount of any claim, loss, or damage payable under an insurance contract and or offering or effecting settlement of such claim, loss, or damage. The acts of an adjuster within the apparent scope of his or her authority are binding on the insurance company. In my opinion, the insurance adjuster is the only person acting on behalf of the insurance company and insured will meet in person. The adjuster, as far as an insured is concerned, is the insurance company. If the adjuster acts professionally, empathetically, and helps the insured prove his or her claim, he or she is the best marketing tool an insurer can have. If the adjuster ignores the insured, is annoying or difficult to deal with the insured, will never deal with the insurer again, and may find a need to retain counsel to sue the insurer for damages in the tort of bad faith. This blog was adapted from my newest book, The Compact Book of Adjusting Property Claims, 4th edition, which is available from Amazon.com as a paperback, a Kindle book, or as a hardcover. This video was also adapted from my blog, Zelma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog. It's free, and you'll be given notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week. And you can also subscribe for free to the videos on rumble.com or youtube.com. And if you do, I'd appreciate it if you click on the link on the like button on YouTube and the thumbs up button on rumble.com. And then please tell your friends and colleagues about the blog and the videos so that they too can subscribe. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance law, insurance claims, and insurance fraud, please consider subscribing to my Substack publications at a very small fee. Thank you for your attention.